I'm the sorceress Cagliostro. My work is threefold, but mostly I'm focused right now on mummification. My work as a mummifier is a result of many years of experiments and research, working with chemists and whatnot till I found exactly the right salt complex. So now I am really offering pet mummification for animals who are under 20 pounds. I am fascinated with the process of death. Death to me is someone in the room whom I need to have a conversation with. For me, death is an exploration. It's brilliant, it's magnificent, and it's the one thing we all share, animal, vegetable, human, it doesn't matter. We're all going to share this. And the idea that one wants to preserve a body into eternity, to me, is kind of kooky. So I live in this sort of catch-22 in my own fascination of the work. The reality is that no matter how much information we have from ancient Egypt, no one has presented a manual of mummification. When you think about the Book of the Dead is really called the Book of Coming Forth by Day, in so much it is a list of spells and procedures to allow one to become reanimated in the afterlife. So there is almost nothing about mummification. So what I did was I worked with some chemistry students and we got together and we figured out over multiple years, about 10 years of experimenting with rotting pieces of meat, what we could preserve and what we could not. I now have what I call my secret formula of 10 salts and 6 metals, and creates this experience called mummified remains, which are, excuse my lack of reverence at the moment, but solid. What happens is the body comes to me, and the body of the deceased pet will come to me in usually one of two circumstances. It's either been hit by a car and it's extraordinarily damaged, or it has been a victim of disease. I look at the animal and I decide whether I will be able to create a vision of the animal in a form that looks similar to what it would look like while alive. For example, this is a mummified bullfrog. And you can tell when you look at it that this is a mummified bullfrog. I have left the feet exposed, but even if I didn't, it has a certain silhouette that identifies it as such. This is a caiman. This is a baby caiman. And the individual did not want the tail concealed within the main wrapping. She wanted the tail to be a separate entity because the tail was sort of her favorite part. So what I do is I initially remove the organs because that's the center of decomposition. We then have the big question. Does the family want the organs back in small canopic jars independently mummified, or do they want just the animal? If they want just the animal, it's simplified and I'll discard the organs. The animal then goes into a deep salt box. And then once it comes out of the salts and it's completely clean, I'll start to work on the preservation process in so much what it will look like in the final piece. There is a ritual in so much as I have great respect for the animal that has been put in my care. Someone sends me their cat or their puppy or their macaw or their caiman. I'm very careful about what I do with it. I ask them the animal's name, I call it by name the whole time. So I have an enormous amount of respect and integrity for the animal. And I offer the owner the text of the opening of the mouth, which allows them to release the soul if they believe that exists. I don't believe that exists. So I do this work very much in the vacuum of a complete lack of belief in deities or divinities of any kind. For me, everything is about physics, chemistry, and integrity. I have all kinds of clients. I have clients who expect elaborate mummification, where I'll do designs and painting and all kinds of things on the mummy. And I have clients who want a simple linen wrap. I have one celebrity client, which I can't talk about, of course, I'm sorry, who is frequently on Broadway. And I have one client who intrigues me endlessly. She will be my first human mummification. I try very hard not to orchestrate the desires of my family. If my family members wanted to be mummified, I would create a situation where that could happen. I don't know that I would be the hands-on mummifier because I don't know that that's appropriate, but I would create a situation in which that would happen. My decision about my afterlife, I leave in the hands of my daughter. And the reason that I do that is because it would be her that has to live with those choices. And as much as that seems like putting a burden on her, because at the moment she's only 11, she's the one who would have to make a decision about whether she wanted a body somewhere she could visit, or cremains in her house, or cremains sprayed around the world somewhere. I leave those things in the hands of my daughter.